These are TPOT's Outbreak at Stake and Inanimate Insanity Invitational penultimate episode, The Show Must Go On. Yeah, sorry that it took so long for me to finally talk about these big object show episodes. It's just that I was too busy with the holidays and a few other videos in January. But I am here to say I have caught up to these episodes and I'm ready to talk about them. So let's begin with TPOT with Outbreak at Stake. So last time, teammates and Are You OK were both up for elimination because all their team members fell off the balance beam or they were simply disqualified or got killed during the process. And speaking of killing, Barbat was unconscious from the last episode because she lost all of her barf molecules from going to the water. Now granted, in BFDI logic, they would have to kill her and use a recovery center to bring her back, but Black Hole says no to death, so they need to figure out a way to prevent her death. However, since there are no more vomit around the Goenki Canal since Rocky was eliminated, they decide to use the volcano that is covered in vomit after he was eliminated. But when they dump the barf into Barbat, it has an unusual side effect. It turned her into a zombie because of the mixture of barf and lava. And of course, if you get bitten by Barbat, you turn into a zombie. So all the members of TPOT had to run for their lives and make sure they don't become undead zombies. However, even during the zombie apocalypse, the show still must go on, so they still had to do cake at stake. Are You OK gets to go first because they're the first team that lost in the balance beam competition. If they're safe, they get wooden boards and nails to cover the doors and windows from the zombies. But let me tell you, this along with Team Ace had the closest vote battle in any of the Teapot episodes. Eraser is safe because he was the last member of Are You OK on the balance beam, and he did receive some extra points for trying to help Teardrop even though she tricked him. While TV was knocked down by Robot Flower, he did receive some votes because he did have a good plan before he was knocked out. Pin received the third most votes to be a useful weapon to Tennis Ball and for helping him to take down Snowball. Speaking of the ball, Tennis Ball survived elimination because he carried the team throughout the last competition, and he received some sympathy points when Golf Ball decided to team up with Puff Ball. And now it's down to the two balls of the team, Golf Ball and Puff Ball. As previously mentioned, this was a really close vote battle, and one of them got eliminated because they got 3 votes less than the other. And with that, by a 3-vote difference, Puffball has been eliminated on the power of 2. So out of all of the Cake and Steak eliminations, I was not expecting one of the ball characters to be eliminated, especially Puffball. I thought she was playing a good game so far after she proved herself to be a worthy member of Are You OK, and she'd make amends with Golf Ball. To be honest, I actually thought Pen was going to get eliminated because all I remember from him was that he was used as a weapon. Again, that was just my prediction before the final results. But the big question is, how did Golf Ball receive more votes than Puffball, and why did Puffball end up getting eliminated so soon? I do have 2 theories on why it ended up this way. They're not right answers, they're just theories. First off, while Puffball has been a valued member to the team like sabotaging the other contestants, she hasn't been much of a value inside the competition, like we never see her compete inside the balance beam or be a valued member for the rest of the team. She did have a great team up with Golf Ball, but what about the rest of the Are You OK team like Eraser, TV, Pen, or Tennis Ball? Social game is the key to safety. And for my second theory is regarding with the relationship between Golf Ball and Puffball. As previously stated, they have made amends with each other, and since they finally make amends, there's no need to continue this story arc. It's like Leafy making amends with Fiery in the episode Who Stole Donut's Diary. They become friends again, but we know that Fiery is not going to win this season. But overall, I am really sad that Puffball had to go so soon. I will miss her and her incredible auto-tuning in this season. And now it's down to teammates, and while their bottom 2 was by a 20-vote difference, it was still a very close battle. Donut and Gady are safe because Donut was the last member to stay on the balance beam, while Gady helped too regarding the clock and winter arc. Although Barbat turned into a zombie in this episode, she is still safe for receiving some incredible strength from Teardrop and protecting her from getting eliminated from the last episode. Pin, although she lied on protecting Fanny in the last episode, she is still safe for actually preventing Donut from falling off the balance beam. Which leads us to Coiny and Needle. Another BFDI original has been eliminated, and by a 20-vote difference, Needle is safe from elimination. Coiny is out of the game. Although Needle accidentally knocked down one of her own team members like Gady or Pin, she was still the strongest link in the last episode. With Coiny, however, it was his naivete that got him kicked off. In the last episode, while Donut was rolling down the balance beam, he tricked Pin into being thrown into the air to stop Donut from getting thrown over. And while that was a good plan, he didn't let Pin know in on the plan. It was the same trap that got nearly eliminated. She did use Bomby to get some cactus water, but she didn't let Bomby in on the plan on protecting the flower. But while Coiny was a bit clumsy during his time on TPOT, he was still a nice coin. But now that Cake and Steak is finally out of the way, it's time for the real challenge. However, all the teams have been scattered throughout most of the BFDI universe. Deadpack again are on top of a tree to protect him from the zombies. The strongest team on Earth are flying on Belle, but they're too heavy for her to carry. Are You Okay and Teardrop are hiding inside Basketball's above ground factory. Teammates are at the lower ground of the hotel trying to get 4 and X for some help with the zombies. However, they gone fishing with Clock. Just Not are inside Gelatin's abandoned steakhouse, which used to be a shade house, while the S are outside and they're looking for some shelter to protect themselves from the zombies. And that's where this competition comes in. Their job is to simply survive the zombie apocalypse. If the first 2 teams lost all their members or lose the most members, they'll be up for elimination in TPOT 10. They have until someone finds a cure for the zombie apocalypse. Now I know what you're thinking, why can't you just simply fix the zombies since they are immortal and they have to be at least immune to it? Well, here's the thing, one of the zombies actually bit 2 and now they've grown very unconscious. However, when Gady tries to talk to 2 to make sure they are still them, 2 end up sending Gady to one of the elimination areas where all the TPOT characters have been eliminated. And the funny thing is, even though everything is upside down in Pie's room, it's actually the most comfortable elimination place I've ever seen in Battle for Dream Island. It's possibly the best place for the eliminated players. But going back to the challenge and the zombies, I was not expecting any of this to happen in any BFDI episode. This episode was really dark. This episode was published in December 2023, but it felt like I was watching a BFDI Halloween special, and it was awesome to watch. There were a bunch of stuff happening between here and there on surviving the zombie apocalypse, like the Are You Okay team are trying to find a cure, Deadpack again are trying to protect Tree from the zombies by creating a barrier or digging up his roots, while Pin is trying to continue the game forward without Coiny's help. Speaking of which, I do like the arc they were going for with Pin. It has been established from BFDI and BFB she had a close friendship with Coiny, but now she's continuing the game forward without Coiny. She's gonna have to continue the game all by herself. He did calm her down in the Twinkle challenge on what if Loser was gone and give her the confidence to put 4 back together in BFB 10. And given how much she's grown in the later seasons, I feel like she will continue further for both her and Coiny. Actually, the zombies are the least problems for Just Not. It's actually Pillow. After they hide inside the shade house, it turns out it has a really bad internet connection, and they misinterpreted that their challenge is to simply kill all their members of the team. At least that's how Pillow sees it. Even if the shade house did have some good internet connection, I still feel like Pillow would still kill them just for her own research. But here's the biggest shock. It's not the zombies or Coiny or Puffball's elimination, it's the post-credits scene. There was a flashback happening that after the Exiters have escaped 4 and the exit, they decided to go on their separate ways to find a way to get out of 4's head. So Pencil, Bracelety, and Davey decided to go back to the classroom to see if there was actually a hidden exit inside the exit. But of course, it was a bad idea because 4 now knows where everyone is at. So Pencil, Bracelety, and David decided to go to another room, which looks like a preschool room, and they discover that there are other numbers besides 4. But that's not the biggest shock. Back to the present, something was coming out of the broken full moon, and it's actually a new Ultra Brilliant number, and it's 1. And keep in mind, this is the first time that this 1 character actually appeared in the Jack and Jellify YouTube channel. we never seen them in any of the other Algebrillion episodes, like with 7, 9, 6, 10, or whatever number that appeared in those side episodes. I have so many questions with this one character, like why were they inside the full moon, and what are they going to do in the later episodes? Are they going to steal some of 2's contestant like what 2 did with 4 and BFB16? We don't know. The only thing we do know that we're going to have to see them later in the next episode of Battle for Dream Island, The Power of 2. And now we come to Inanimate Insanity Season 3's second to last episode, and we are down to the final 4. Nickel, Balloon, Cabby, and Silver Spoon, and it has been announced that their show, Inanimate Insanity Invitational, has been nominated at the Oscars, which is the show's version of the Oscars, and they've been nominated for Best Reality Series. However, there is a tiny bit of an issue. They haven't reached the minimum requirements for episodes yet for the Oscars, so MePhone came up with a lie that they're still working on the episode, and they will bring them to the Oscars later. So that's where the next challenge comes in. Whichever contestant comes up with the best fake Inanimate Insanity episode wins immunity, guaranteeing their spot into the final episode and the final 3. The losers, however, they'll be one episode short of winning that grand prize, whatever it's supposed to be. According to MePhone and the Oscars, the minimum requirement for a reality series has to be 26 episodes, but MePhone decides to double it with 52 episodes. So he, along with the rest of the final 4, decided to pitch some Inanimate Insanity ideas, and they are pretty much just all over the place. There's one involving cliff jumping again, only this time they had to climb the cliff using a rewind button. There's another one involving immunity advantages, canceling Christmas, and saving Christmas and stuff. Another one involving hide and seek and Cheesy making a cameo as a contestant, and so on. The way that the Final 4 keeps creating these fake Inanimate Insanity episodes, they are pretty weird and absolutely hilarious. I do like this one fake scene in the elimination ceremony where Silver Spoon has this immunity advantage, but Cabby also has an advantage only to steal the advantage from Silver Spoon. But like he has this safety wheel that's supposed to keep him safe, but Nickel has this 4 bell that's supposed to get rid of him. It was actually hilarious just how confusing it was. I remember when watching the Survivor 40-something season, I actually had a hard time remembering what these advantages are supposed to do and who has what. Even Silver Spoon had a hard time picturing how any of that would work in the elimination ceremony. But it doesn't stop there. Silver Spoon comes up with his own episode where he saves Candle from a shark using his newfound gold powers, and Candle hugs him. And you know exactly what they're doing. You know exactly what they're doing with these two. Oh, and by the way, that gold power is true. Silver Spoon actually has new gold powers now. Because in the last episode, he was shining gold briefly while they were crossing the desert. Because I guess it means he found his own inner flame that Candle's been talking about lately. But I do have one criticism with the gold powers though. It came in way late, especially when we're on the second to last episodes. And just to increase the insanity, they decided to do a speed round with the fake episodes. There's one where the Final 4 had to fix Tyler Bombard's vacation home, but the catch is he can't pay the mortgage. There's another rejoin with paper while the rest of the contestants compete in a Survivor Traditional Endurance Challenge. And another one where Balloon tries to rescue Coiny from Battle for Dream Island while he's trapped inside a coin jar. Why do I get the feeling that's where 2 ended up sending him anyway? I know Balloon is trying to stand up for himself that he has a good social game outside of Nickel, but putting in Coiny as a cameo is not helping him. All those ideas were really funny, but just for the fun of it, let's see if we can go beyond the insanity. Let's see, there's have a trivia show, eat a plate of MePhone's homemade cookies, play musical chairs, put on a talent show, appear on Fans Fantastic Features, find Meepad, rescue Bot from Springy, ride all the rides at Disneyland, buy the coolest thing in Walmart, they did say it has everything, compete in a celebrity object show with a BFDI crossover, create world peace. Okay, I'm done now. So while it was a lot of fun coming up with these phony Inanimate Insanity episodes, the episode was still a very serious episode because it tackled this one particular subject matter that this show had the guts to talk about: AI art. After the final four were so tired out from the speed round, Cabby did bring out this one good question. Even if they did pitch the ideas, how would they make the episodes? And Walkie Talkie suggests they will use the animation machine from Tile TBD. They just simply had to put the script inside the machine while using some documents or other research across the internet to automatically generate the Inanimate Insanity episode. And let me tell you, that idea is an absolute no, N-O. Even the final four, except Silver Spoon, were totally against the idea of letting the animation machine to do all the work. I mean, yes, they do have a deadline and everything with the Groskers, but making an Inanimate Insanity episode, a regular TV episode, even a full-length movie does take weeks, months, or years to happen to make sure that the TV episode, an Inanimate Insanity episode, and a full-length movie does turn out really good in the director's image. They can't just let an automatic generating machine just skip a stage and do the work all by itself. It won't look good as they envisioned. And Meatphone learned it the hard way. After they come up with the idea for a dart challenge where Silver Spoon wins a challenge and Cabby sets files a lot, or when Balloon and Nickel fight each other, how did it turn out on the animation machine? Well, it was hilariously bad. And from what everyone saw in that AI episode, that was not an Inanimate Insanity episode. That was one of the budget cuts from BFB 25. Not only were the visuals from the animation machine a severe downgrade, it was really stereotypical, like when Cabby had to rely on her files to throw a dart, or Balloon and Nickel fight each other like a bunch of crybabies. First off, I do know Cabby uses her files for some research and they help her remember some things, but I'm pretty sure she can remember how to throw a dart. Second, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that Balloon and Nickel won't be fighting each other anytime soon. They already went through this arc. We don't need a rerun. If that kind of episode even existed, it would just retcon everything. I think Inanimate Insanity did a great job on tackling that commentary that a machine can't make art. A machine can't replace a person nor steal their lives. A machine can't do anything all by itself. Now, AI has existed for a really long time, even for the 2020 decade, like a few of the Adobe apps or a Chessmaster machine. But AI scripts and AI art are a much different story because they don't value quality over quantity. This is why I don't watch AI art videos on YouTube like those fake Disney posters like Funkin' Friday Night, Among Us, and a few others, because I know Disney is not going to make one of those movies. We don't need an AI generated Among Us movie. We have Owen Dennis greenlighting a TV series for it, and it's going to be made by real people. And I'm not going to use one of those AI arts or AI scripts like ChatGPT or DALL-E 2 or anything similar to them to help me with my videos. I'm going to make the videos on how I written them and how I edited them, with some help with my family and friends. What Meatphone, along with the cast and crew of Inanimate Insanity, are trying to say, they're not going to make any AI art videos for their channel in the future. No matter what happens in the future or how everything will end in seasons 2 and 3, Animation Epic will be made by real people, written by real people, and animated by real people. So with that said, I had a great time with both of these Object Show episodes. It was scary fun for the TPOT Zombie Apocalypse episode, and I applaud Inanimate Insanity on tackling the AIR commentary and making fun of it. So what do you think of these episodes? Do you have a fun time with the TPOT Zombie episode and the One Surprise? And what do you think of the second to last episode of Inanimate Insanity Season 3? And who do you think is going to win in the final 3? And what's going to happen now that Springy is coming back? Guess we'll have to find out on the next episode of The Power of Two and Inanimate Insanity Invitational.